Hi, this is Art, and this is from my book, And Another Thing, an eclectic collection of musings, afterthoughts, and paternal rantings. Important things are seldom urgent. Urgent things are seldom important. Brian Tracy. I once had a boss who just drove me crazy. Don't they all? This particular individual didn't seem to care about anything that mattered. If I sent him a memo regarding something that I felt needed his immediate attention, he'd answer me a few days later, or sometimes even a week or two would go by before I'd get any kind of a response. It seemed to me as if he just didn't care about anything that was important, and I had a difficult time understanding how he could possibly be as successful as he was. Well, one morning as I entered my office, I found a book on my desk that had been left there the night before. My boss had obviously left the book for me to read, and of course that made me feel obligated to read it. The name of the book was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, and it introduced me to a whole new way of thinking, a whole new paradigm, if you will. It would turn out to be the most important business advice I would ever receive. The book started out by saying that most of us are so busy being busy that we never take the time to become successful. Before reading this book, I spent most of my working life dealing with what I thought were urgent matters and putting out fires. Problems came up, I dealt with them. That was my life. I was so busy being reactive that I never took the time to be proactive. As Michael Gerber pointed out in The E-Myth, another great business book, the face of the rock had been something to cling to rather than to scale. The thing that struck me most about Covey's book was what he referred to as the 4 quadrants. You take a blank piece of paper and you draw a large square. Then you draw a vertical line down the center of the square and another horizontal line across the center of the square. You now have 4 equal quadrants. In the top left quadrant, you write the words urgent and important. Then in the bottom right quadrant, you write the words not urgent and not important. Top right are things that are important but not urgent. Bottom left are things that are urgent but not important. And your page looks like this. I began to realize that I had been spending most of my adult life and all of my working days in quadrant 3, working on things that were urgent but not necessarily important. And it helped me to realize why my boss spent so much of his time and energy on plans for the future and becoming more organized instead of dealing with what I perceived as the matters at hand. Covey said that if you have 4 hours to cut down a tree, you should spend the first 3.5 hours sharpening the saw. My way of thinking had always been something like, I don't have time to sharpen the saw, I've got to get this damn tree cut down. I still spend way too much of my time on things that are trivial, but at least I'm more cognizant of it now. And I often ask myself, is this important? Answering a ringing phone might be urgent. Going through your junk mail might seem like something that you need to do. But visiting a sick friend in the hospital or taking the time to plan out your week are things that will endure. Taking the time to write this book has been a struggle for me. It's taken precious time away from my other work, from spending time with my wife, from talking to my kids, from playing golf and watching some of my favorite shows on TV. But when you take the time to create something of value, it lives on forever. So, I ask you, is it important? I hope you like my vlogs, and if you do, please leave me a comment at the bottom of your screen. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up too. Thanks for watching.